Yes.
Brethren and friends, since time immemorial, it has been the custom in the fraternity of Freemasons, when requested to do so by the relatives, to gather about a departed brother to conduct a memorial service. Our ceremony is in no way intended to serve as a substitute for last religious rites. It is rather a demonstration of our faith in the immortality of the soul, our desire to seek the true meaning of life, and to overcome the fear of death. With these thoughts, we are now convened, clothed as Masons, to pay our last respects to one of our brethren who, in the wisdom of the Grand Architect, has been called from among us.
Man that is born of woman is of few days and full of trouble. He cometh forth like a flower and is cut down. He fleeth also as a shadow and continueth not. In the midst of life we are in death. Of whom then may we seek for succor but of thee, O Lord, who for our sins is justly displeased? Let us pray.
Most glorious and merciful God, author of all good and giver of every perfect gift, grant, we implore thee, thy blessings upon us. Under the solemnities of this hour, bind us yet closer together in the ties of brotherly love and affection. May this instance of mortality remind us of our approaching departure, and may it influence us to raise our hearts from attachment to things of this transitory world and fix our hope in thee, the only sure refuge in time of need. And at last, great parent of the universe, when our journey shall be near its end, when the silver cord shall be loosed and the golden bowl glisten, in that moment of mortal extremity, may the lamp of thy love dispel the gloom of the dark valley, and may regain interest into the celestial lodge above, and in thy glorious presence amidst ineffable mysteries, enjoy the reunion with the soul of our departed friends, perfect as are the joys of heaven, and durable as eternity. Amen.
So may it be. The memorial scroll. Worshipful Brother A. Arthur Moss was born August 31st, 1928, and passed away on August 13th, 2022 in Cleveland, Ohio. Masonic history. Worshipful Brother Moss was initiated and entered apprentice on February 7th, 1928. Passed to the degree of Fellowcraft on March 8th, 1968, and raised to the sublime degree of Master Mason in St. Mark's Philetus Lodge, number 1001 F and AM of the Grand Lodge of New York on April 3rd, 1968. My brethren, we are called upon by another admonition to regard the uncertainty of human life, the immutable certainty of death, and the vanity of earthly pursuits. Instability and change are written everywhere. Today we are strong, tomorrow we may fall. What a striking commentary lies before us, teaching by its example the uncertainty of every human pursuit. How touchingly, with its deep pathos, does it reiterate the sentiment of the great preacher, who, after sharing in all the pleasures and fascinations of this world, in its honors, in its wealth, and in its intellectual enjoyments, wrote for our continual warning, vanity of vanities, all is vanity. The last offices of respect and love that we pay to the dead are useless forms, except that they are lessons to the living. The lifeless form in the narrow house before us is alike insensible to our sorrows and our ceremonies. It matters not to our brother now whether 2 or 3 gather around his body to conduct the funeral rite, or whether hundreds assemble with measured tread and somber drapings to lay it in its final resting place. It is of little moment how or in what manner his obsequies are performed, whether the wild winds chant his requiem, or whether it be accompanied with the minstrels of many voices. For he has gone to fulfill the destiny of our race. His body will return to earth, from which it came, and in the solitude of the grave his dust will mingle with its kindred dust. Though our hearts are softened and saddened in the thought and presence of death, which without hope is dark and gloomy, yet the evergreen and ever-living emblem of our faith strengthens our confidence and teaches us to look forward to a blessed immortality in the great hereafter. What are all the externals of the world, the power of wealth, the dreams of ambition, the pride of intellect, or the charms of beauty, when in turn the debt to nature's law is paid? The monarch of 100 provinces, at whose bidding nations pay obedience, and the poor beggar who lingers at his gate are equals in the house of death. The one must part with his scepter and his crown, the other has no further use for his staff and his rags. Each, in common, is indebted to Mother Earth for his sepulchre. There are ranks there. All ranks are leveled, and all distinctions are done away. Let us pray.
Eternal God, giver and sustainer of life, we look to thee in confidence and faith, knowing that thy love will bring peace and comfort throughout our lives, even in this, our hour of bereavement. We thank thee for the blessings of the life of our brother, and for his love and inspiration to us throughout his days. We cannot help but be overcome with sorrow, the loss we have all sustained. Help us, dear Lord, to be forward and good with the blessed assurance of thy abiding love, that our sorrow may be tempered with your presence in our lives, and that our future may be made brighter with a steadfast faith of your divine wisdom. In memory of our departed brother, we pray that we may live out our days in such a manner that we may reflect the virtues he prized and the brotherhood he practiced. Grant us help, and we too may enter the spiritual building, that house not made with hands, eternal in the heavens, there to receive thy heavenly blessing and share the comfort of thy eternal presence with us. We seek thy fatherly comfort now, that fearless state we may entrust the soul of our departed brother to eternal rest, to consecrate our lives to thy service. Amen.
So may it be.
The lambskin, or white apron, is an emblem of innocence and badge of mason. It is more ancient than the golden fleece or Roman eagle, more honorable than the star and garter. This emblem I now deposit with the body of our deceased brother. We are thus reminded of the universal domination of death. The arm of friendship cannot interpose to prevent his coming. The wealth of the world cannot purchase our release, nor will the innocence of youth nor the charms of beauty propitiate. The mattock, the coffin, and the grave admonish us of our mortality, and that sooner or later these frail, weak bodies must molder in their parent This evergreen is an emblem of our faith in the immortality of the soul. By it, we are reminded of our high and glorious destiny beyond the world of shadows, and that there dwells within our tabernacle of clay an imperishable, immortal spirit, over which the grave has no dominion and death no power. With the friends and relatives who are deeply stricken at the loss which we have sustained, we sincerely and most affectionately sympathize. We dare to say that he who tempers the wind to the shorn lamb looks down with infinite compassion upon the widow and the fatherless in their hour of desolation, and will fold the arms of his love and protection around those who put their trust and confidence in him. Let us pray.
Almighty and most merciful God, before whom all of us appear to render an account of the deeds done in the body, we do most earnestly beseech thee, as we now surround the departed brother, to impress deeply upon our minds the solemnities and lessons of this day. May we even remember that in the midst of life we are in death, and may we so live and act our several parts as we may wish that we had done when the hour of our departure is at hand. Gracious Father, vouchsafe unto us, we pray thee, thine divine assistance, to redeem our misspent time, and in the discharge of the duties thou hast assigned us, in the erection of our moral and spiritual edifice, may we have the wisdom from on high to direct us, strength commensurate with our take to support us, and the beauty of holiness to render all our deeds acceptable in thy sight. And at last, when our work is done here on earth, may we obtain the blessed and everlasting rest in that spiritual building not made of hands, eternal in the heavens. Amen.
And now may the blessings of heaven rest upon us and all mankind. May brotherly love prevail, and every social and moral virtue cement and strengthen us. Amen. I now declare this emergent lodge closed.
United States. We present the flag to you in recognition of his faithful and honorable service. Yes, thank you. And invite those two with Okay, yeah, I gotta be careful. We do this on behalf of Julie too.
She's going to.
Okay. So, you know what? Why don't you want to gather a little closer to her? We're gonna just gather here so Julie can. Hi, Julie. I'm here with your brothers. We're gonna cut the queer ribbon, and you're here in spirit. So we're going to ask you to repeat these words after me. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Dayan Ha'emet. It means, blessed are you, God, you're the true judge. I'd like to interpret it as, God, we don't always know the ways in which you move. You're a mystery to us. But during this time, we hold on to your traditions and your rituals. So we're going to tear the ribbon now. They're self-tearing, so you can tear them yourself, or I can do it for you. I gotcha. Billy, you're here with us for sure, and you're standing right by your brothers. Okay, you bet. Kindly return to your seats.
Oh, yeah. I don't need it. I know it might hurt.
Joe, I'll call you up first. A few moments, and then I'll call you.
Shalom. Rabbi Josh Caruso of Anshe Chesed Fairmount Temple. It's my honor to be here today to pay tribute to Abraham Arthur Moss Art. In the words of Ecclesiastes, the season is set for everything, a time for every experience under heaven, a time for dancing and a time for wailing, a time for birthing and a time for dying, a time for speaking and a time for silence, a time for seeking and a time for losing. The time of mourning is a complicated time, filled with many emotions and memories, both bitter and sweet. We begin our service with the recitation of psalms and prayers, thus linking art's life with the 3,000-year-old tradition of the people Israel and the eternity of God. I invite you to join with me now, if you wish, the recitation of Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He guideth me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me, in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. It is a fearful thing to love what death can touch. A fearful thing to love, hope, dream to be, and oh, to lose. A thing for fools this, and a holy thing.